Hey makeup friends, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then hello and welcome. My name is Kara, and today I'm going to be sharing some of my current favorite items with you. There's no preamble today, we're just going to jump straight into it, and I'm going to start off by talking about my favorite jewelry brand, Luisa. They were kind enough to reach out and send me the earrings that I'm wearing here, as well as the ring on my hand. And I have worked with them a number of times in the past, and I want to circle back to some of those times because their products stand the test of time. Their catchphrases really elevate your everyday, and I think their products really do accomplish that. If you've watched my channel for, especially an extended period of time, then you'll come to know that I have a very eclectic range of earrings. I have fuzzy chickens, I have avocados, I have feathery flamingos, and everything in between. But on a day-to-day basis, when I'm heading into the office or going off to the courtroom, those are not the earrings that I'm looking for. I look for much more understated yet beautiful pieces to wear, such as the earrings that I have on here. And the two workhorse pairs of earrings in my collection are both from Luisa. And I received these at least 2 and a bit years ago because I remember wearing these earrings in specific when I was in British Columbia. I traveled there in September of 2021, and I had already had these earrings for some time at that point. So we're going on about 3 years. And both of these sets of earrings, they basically live in my ears on a rotational basis, and I will put them in and they will remain there for about a month before I finally get bored of one and switch it out for the other. Now I will switch them out from time to time, especially for filming videos for YouTube, but for the most part, these are the earrings that I rely on very heavily. As well, the durability of these pieces really speaks for themselves. Again, I've had these for about 3 years at this point, and while these ones are showing some signs of wear, it's really not that noticeable to anybody else. So the durability is there as well. Both of these hoop earrings are on a hinge, and those hinges are holding up very well, and the earrings still close with a satisfying snap. And not only do I love the look of the pieces and appreciate the longevity of them, but I also feel good using their products because they are a carbon neutral brand. From their packaging to the product, they have minimized the impact of creating these pieces on the earth. Finally, Luisa does have very affordable prices for such high quality products, starting at $39, and currently there is a 25% off sale, so be sure to check out the link in my description if you're interested, or if you're looking for a gift for somebody special in your life. Valentine's Day is coming up. In fact, the ring that I'm wearing here, I'm actually going to give to my daughter because she has an affinity for snakes, and I know that this isn't going to turn her finger green like all of the other rings that she wears, and I have the feeling she's going to love it. So then on to makeup favorites, and I've really kind of kept it in check. I really wanted the cream of the crop for this video. So we're going to start with primer. And it's rare that a primer really makes a lasting impression on me because most of the time a primer is a primer is a primer. But this one I really, really enjoyed. Obviously, it's just a sample size, but I still got many uses out of this. It's from Clarins. This is the SOS primer in the white packaging, which is their radiant primer. They do have a few different varieties for different types of needs, but this is the radiant one. And I think it is beautiful. Even if you just wear it on its own, it just brings that glow to your skin without looking shiny or oily, without looking glittery. It just helps to make your skin look that much more alive. And it's not so radiant that wearing it on its own looks a little unnatural. So this is one of those products that I think is just beautiful. Again, if I'm looking for a really low makeup kind of days, this comes in clutch as basically a moisturizer slash skin enhancer, but I can also wear it underneath of a foundation just to help boost that glow effect to it without going over the top. As well, it's not heavily fragranced, it blends in really nicely, and it is a little bit moisturizing to my skin as well. Overall, I've just really enjoyed using it, and it is on my list of something to pick up as a replacement once I finish one of the other primers that I have. I only have 3 at this point, and I just don't feel like I need to go out and buy another one right now, but I am very excited to get the full size of this into my hands. I have 2 other base products to talk about. One of them I have talked about before, so it bears repeating. The Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Foundation is my favorite foundation that I own. I've kept it in my drawer for a while. I've been using some others and shifting my focus away from this to really sort of gain perspective to see if I really do like it as much as I think I do. And then I brought it back out this week and applied it, and absolutely yes, I love this as much as I think I do. This is just the perfect foundation for what I'm looking for in a foundation. I have normal leaning towards dry skin, and particularly at this time of year when we're in the dead of winter, my skin is about as dry and dull as it's going to be all year, and I really do need the extra help from radiance enhancing products, such as this foundation. But at the same time, I don't want my radiance to be at a level where you can see me from space. I don't want to look like I'm sweaty. I just want to look like I'm healthy, and this achieves it. The amount of glow that's in here is a very natural looking finish, but just boosted a little bit. So it's not a shiny foundation. It just, again, looks like you've drank as much water as you're supposed to drink, something I don't always accomplish. As well, in terms of coverage, I'm not looking for high coverage, but sometimes I do want something more than just a skin tint. And again, this rides the line. So it does have a light to medium coverage. I don't think that you could build this up to full coverage, nor would you necessarily want to, because I think it would just take too much product to do that. But if you're looking for a lower amount of coverage while still having some, this again delivers. As well, I just find that it wears really nicely on my skin throughout the day. Again, it doesn't cling to any dry patches, it doesn't separate across my forehead or across my nose, and by the end of the day, I still don't see it sitting on top of my skin. It just melds into place and stays there all day. So again, huge fan of this foundation. As well, I've discovered a new favorite concealer. Now, it's hard for me to really pinpoint one specific concealer because I do tend to rotate through them, but this is the one that I keep reaching for even when I mean to use a different one. And that is this one here from Revlon. This is the Flex Wear Full Cover Concealer, and I have it in the shade Light. This piqued my interest because full coverage from the drugstore, curious right out the gate. Frankly, full coverage and you have my attention. So when it comes to concealer, I have fairly high standards. I need it to be moisturizing so that the under eyes don't end up looking like, an 80-year-old scrotum. As well, I need it to have high coverage. I'm not interested in light coverage foundation. I'm not even particularly interested in medium coverage. I need full-on spackle. I have very dark circles and no amount of sleep is ever going to change that. And then finally, I am looking for durability. It does me no good if my concealer looks fantastic at 9 a.m. and then looks like it's been through war by 11 a.m. This one checks all the boxes for me. The amount of coverage in here is fantastic. It doesn't look dried up under the eyes, nor does it crease. In fact, I have found that I don't even have to set this one with a powder, it just locks into place. I do continue using powder to set my under eyes simply because that is the habit that I've been in and that's just part of the routine that I've established. But I did specifically wear this concealer without setting it just to see what would happen, and it held up beautifully. The powder really didn't make any difference. And as well, the duration is there as well. When I get home from work, this is still chugging along nicely. It does claim 24-hour wear. Candidly, I have not tested it for 24 hours. I've not tested anything for 24 hours, nor do I foresee that I will, because in the life that I'm living, I do not need makeup to hold up for 24 hours. But I fully suspect that this actually could, because it has held up very nicely after probably 14 to 15 hour wears when I've checked in on it. So very impressed by this, and I'm always happy to find an amazing product at the drugstore and to share that with you, because the cost of stuff is just a little bit bananas these days, if you haven't noticed. Anyways, moving on from there, we then have a lip gloss that I have been loving. So this is the Untamed Glow Glossy Lip Glaze from Kaleidos, and that is a name and a half, so we're going to call it the Kaleidos Lip Gloss. This is in the shade Skinny Dip, which just goes with everything. This is one of those brainless but beautiful products where you don't have to worry about undertones and what's going on in your eyes. It's going to work with everything as well. It's just a really easy to wear product. It's not sticky, it's not oily, it's not greasy, it doesn't slide around on the lips, it doesn't gum up in the corners, doesn't go on your teeth, doesn't go outside of the lip line. All of the things that you don't want to happen, this doesn't do. I do want to point out that they do have two that have a lot of glitter in them. So the red one here is in the shade Penthouse, and then this one that has sort of silver glitter in it is Free Fall. And these are beautiful as well. There is no grittiness in them whatsoever. The little flecks of glitter that are in there are tiny. They're enough just to catch the light, but not enough to look like you've just like put on full-on glitter on your lips, if that makes sense. But again, there's no grittiness. I do find with the sparkly lip glosses, sometimes as you rub your lips together, you can feel those little particles of glitter. I can't feel that at all with these ones, so don't let the glitter put you off if you're curious about them. So those are really like the top tier of the makeup products that I've really been enjoying. Of course, I've also been enjoying certain eyeshadow palettes and whatnot, but these are the items that even when I intend to pull from my daily makeup basket and use products that are in there, I'm still reaching over and grabbing these ones instead because I just really enjoy the experience of using them. And then before we wrap up, I do have one disappointment that I want to share with you, and that is this lipstick here from Dior. Now on the back it says Rouge Dior Forever, which I feel like that's the name of almost everything. If it's not Backstage, then it's Forever. So I don't really know specifically what it's called, and I can't read the small print on this sticker, but these are the transfer proof lipsticks, and this is in the shade Forever Confident. So I've had this about a month, a little bit less than a month, but call it a month. The lipstick has already broken. Not the biggest issue in the world because I can just melt the bottom of it and I can make a fix out of it. But there are two things that I want to bring to your attention with it. Before we do that, here's the positive. It is transfer proof for the most part. I'd say it's about like 95% transfer proof, but not 100%. There are two things, like I said, though. One is it doesn't wear away evenly. So this is one of those products that will leave the ring around your lips, which is not necessarily a big issue with this shade, although it is noticeable. It's not terrible. But if you got a deeper shade or like a bright red, you're going to want to keep an eye on that because you are going to get the ring around the lip look. As well, I cannot touch this up over top of itself. I have to remove the entire base layer in order to reapply. If I just go in and reapply on top of like an old application, it starts to pill up and then I can feel this grittiness across my mouth, and then I become very self-conscious thinking I have balled up lipstick, which I do, all over my lips. So not like the end of the world, but it is like a $50 lipstick, at least in Canadian dollars. And for that, I feel like you can get better on the market as well. It's not super convenient. Having to take your lipstick off entirely to then reapply, to then still constantly be kind of worried about what the state of the lipstick looks like. Just not my idea of a great time. If you want a truly like transfer proof matte lipstick, it's not a bullet lipstick, but the Kaleidos Lip Clay, whatever the hell those are called, those ones last forever and they wear away really nicely, and you can reapply on top of itself, and it doesn't cost $50 Canadian. So put that recommendation out there. But with all that said, those are my favorites for the month and one disappointment. Again, just to bring to your attention that Ana Luisa is hosting a sale at this time, so be sure to check the link in my description. But with all that said, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in my next video. Until then, just be a decent human being. Bye for now.